Hey, it's Holly. In today's video, I am showing you such an awesome set. We are back in the Enchanted Storybook collection. I'm showing you the 1995 Sparkling Mermaid Adventure. If you've been following along, you may notice that this is a lot larger than the previous Enchanted Storybooks, but for a good reason. It's got lights. So many details in here, so much stuff to show you. I have to turn the lights off at some point, so let's just get started. Okay, welcome back to the Enchanted Storybook collection. Today I am bringing you a set I am so excited to finally have complete. This is the 1995 Sparkling Mermaid Adventure. This is part of the Enchanted Storybook collection, and if you've been following along on my channel for a while, then you've probably seen my other videos. I have done 3 previous videos on the Enchanted Storybook collection. However, those sets were about that big, like quite small, and this one's large, like my hand for reference. I have small hands, but that's still quite a large book. And this is much larger, like almost, 2.5 times the size of the other ones. But that being said, this one is particularly special as it does have lights inside. So you'll notice that it is styled very similarly with the clasps on the side and the logo on the front and the label on the spine, which is really cute. A little sea scene there. But there is quite a bit different in terms of how this one is styled. So let's go ahead and open it up. Now I will say one thing before I open it up, one thing. This has lights, and I have a lot of lights on right now, so we may or may not see the full effect of it. So what I'm going to do is show you through it, and then I will turn off the lights so you can really get a grasp of how beautiful this set is with the lights on. So you have to open up the clasp on the side here, and that will open up the storybook. Now, this is actually going to act as a kickstand while we have the book open, because when I open it up, it kind of needs something to support it. So there it is. So this is the beautiful, beautiful play set. A lot of these pieces are going to pop up, so I'm just going to put it down to give you the full effect here. And there's these little pieces of coral that pop up. So one of them forms an arch in here. This column comes up as well. And then these shells also open to reveal extra areas. There's also a piece of coral inside the top that can be up or down, so you can move that around. So all of that opens up and it really gives it this beautiful 3D effect. Now on the bottom, there is almost like a little level of the, I don't quite fully understand. Sorry, I'm not feeling super articulate today, but there's a covering of what I would presume would be sort of the top of the water. So like the my words, where are my words? The ocean, right? Like the top, the surface, that's what I'm going for. And it also opens up, although this appears to be also well under the ocean, and I don't know, but we'll get to that later. As per usual, I'm going to start at the top, work my way down to the bottom, and then we will interact with the play set and all of its little features. So in the top half, there is so much stuff going on in here. So we do have these 2 shells that open up, and again, there's some nice use of paint up in this top area. You might not be able to see this, but these light up, and I'm so sorry. I am not good with ocean words. I want to say anemones, but I'm not sure if that's what they are. Beautiful use of stickers along the back and sides of the play set to give you that real sort of underwater feel. Vanity off in the corner here. And then on the side, there is just some other sort of coral going on, along with some treasure, a treasure chest. Come back to this in a few minutes. And there is also additional moving pieces in here. So this slides through here as well. And I really do like the way that they set this up so that it really can be pulled open and played with as more of a 3D set. This is 1995, so the main years of this era of Polly Pockets being 1989 through 1997, so towards the later part of this era. However, I do find that some of these later sets, they really like just totally went for it with all of the details. Like the other Enchanted Storybooks, this is absolutely covered in glitter, and I really hope that my camera will pick that up for you. It's just covered in glitter, and it doesn't come off on your hands or anything. It's really well glued in there, but so sparkly. And then the addition of lights on top of that just makes it so beautiful. So we're gonna come back to the interactive parts in a moment. Moving down to the bottom, again, there is the surface of water here. That fully lifts up. So you can open that up and you can see that we have a shipwreck in here. Some little like grates that look below, all sorts of things that pop out. There's an anchor here that you can actually put a figure onto. There is a trap door. We'll come back to that in a moment. Another door over here, lots of coral. In fact, this one makes a little seesaw move. The description on the Only Polly Pocket website calls this seaweed, but I feel like this actually just looks like little sort of waves, like crests of waves, but I'll let you be the judge of that. A little merry-go-round that's made out of a wrecked barrel, and again, more treasure, more coral. So super, super beautiful, but there's so many little interactive features in here that I actually had to look it up because sometimes you feel like you might miss things, and I have missed things in the past, if we're being honest. So up top, we've talked about all of this stuff that pops up, but let's just kind of fold these down for a moment to get full view of this. And we're going to look at the other interactive features that are up here. So of course, there are some figures that came with the set, and before we get into the features, I should just show you the figures because I'm going to need to use them here. So this set comes with a whopping 8 pieces. This set that I'm holding here is actually a second set that I acquired, and I managed to acquire it complete. I do have another set that's functional, but it's missing about 4 pieces, maybe even 5, because the pieces, again, in these Enchanted Storybooks are so small, they're so easy to lose, so I'm not surprised that it's difficult to find complete. So that being said, of course, it comes with Polly. Polly is a mermaid, and I don't know if my camera will really pick up the true beauty of this, but the paint that's used on her is this beautiful, deep emerald iridescent paint. It is so gorgeous. But again, these are really, really small compared to a typical Polly figure. And I will find a Polly figure and compare it for you, which of course I'll have to go get one. I forgot to bring that down with me. But just so you can see the size difference, but they are really, really small. Next up is Pearl. Pearl, I like to think, looks a little bit like me. She is a ginger. She's got beautiful sort of auburn red hair, and she is also similarly just a mermaid. Beautiful coloring on that mermaid tail. She has a little pink flower in her hair. So that's the second mermaid. There's one more mermaid, and that is Susie. And Susie looks a lot like Polly, but she has her hair in a little bit of a longer hairdo here, and she's a little bit more seated. So that is Susie. So then there were a bunch of other pieces that came with the set. And for the long time, I just wasn't sure what the deal with this one was because I thought it was broken, and I just kept staring at it thinking, how could this possibly be it? but it is. This is a piece, this is a clamshell. It looks broken to me, honestly. I don't know if maybe it's also used in another set or something and we just had it repurposed here. I don't know. But it is a clamshell. It has these little grooves in it, which I thought really look like they should be hinged on something, but they don't hinge to anything. I'll explain this star detail in a moment, and there's a place for the figures to sit. This is Salty, the dolphin. He is an adorable little lavender colored dolphin. So he has no other paint on him. He's just purely one color. So that is piece number 5. Then there is, of course, Myrtle the turtle. So the interesting thing about Myrtle is it does have sort of, what do I want to call this? A nub to sit into some of the pieces on the set, right? So you can, in theory, clip him into anything that has that size groove in it. But he also has one on his back, so people can ride on his back, which is kind of cute. Then there are 2 dolphins. One is named Ripple and one is named Splash. Ripple being the yellow one and Splash being the orange one. In the set that I had previously that wasn't complete, I just had the yellow one. So it's one of those things where it's really frustrating when you're collecting some of these sets because there are so many little pieces, especially when there's like 8 figures that come with this set in theory, or, you know, accessories, and it's hard to get all of them. It's really hard to get all of them. So I'm really excited that I have finally a set to show you. So those are the figures that come with the set. So we'll come back to Polly. I will show you the size of her against a regular Polly in a moment, but to just put those to the side, I want to show you some of the cool features of the set now. So back to this. So I'm going to use Pearl just because I feel like I can relate to her. And I'm going to clip her into first this piece here. So there is a sliding track. So I'm going to clip her into that. And to control that, you just twist this part here and she moves through it. How cute is that? So she kind of, if you watch, she kind of spins as she does it. So the idea is that she's supposed to be swimming through there. So that was really, really adorable. The second thing that happens up here is if you twist the other one. So when you do that, there is a fish that jumps out and the treasure chest opens up to reveal even more treasure than is already on the ground, just in case you missed it. So that is super cute. Coming down to the bottom half of the compact, there are so many interactive elements. Now we saw, of course, that the water moves up, but there is this extra part here with the anchor. So you can put someone on the anchor and it just kind of swivels around. Not fully sure what the idea with that was, but that is a thing you can do. There is also a piece of coral here that when you jiggle it, another sort of fish jumps out at you. There's a lever here that when I twist it opens up. Bear with me here, trying to get the camera angle right. There's an octopus inside. And so you can open and close that using that lever. And then there is also a trap door, which takes a little bit of finesse to open, but that then leads down to the bottom. So if I were to drop, let's see what will show up well on camera. I'm gonna use Splash here. If you drop that through there, they come out through the bottom of the ship. So that's pretty cute. Of course, there is this lovely little barrel merry-go-round here. So if you put figures in there, you can spin that and have them go around inside the merry-go-round. And then we also have this sort of teeter-totter. If you put figures in there and you move the coral, that works as well. The other piece that's really cool is the waves at the front. So if I collapse that down for a moment, and I'm just gonna pull Pearl out here, you can seat, I mean, you put anyone here really, but I'm gonna put some mermaids there. So we'll put in Polly and Pearl. And the way that this one works is you spin this wheel. It's kind of like they're surfing. So again, this may or may not be seaweed or waves. They look like crests of waves to me, but I mean, it is under the water, so I don't know. I mean, what is this? This looks like it's under the water, and it looks like it's also the surface of water, so I don't know. But use your imagination. So I just think that is such a cute detail. It's such a cool set in terms of all of the little pieces in there, and you can just imagine playing with that for hours, just as is all of the little tiny things that are happening in here. Again, not to mention the fact that there are also these shells that open up, and you can put the dolphin in there for a nap, or one of the mermaids, and close it up, so that's pretty cute. And then there's also this little, looks almost like a little throne for them to hang out. So lots of neat little added features in there. Let's just talk about, before I turn off the lights and show you how beautiful this is without the lights, let's just talk about this shell for a minute, because I was honestly baffled, and I was showing it to my friend and he figured it out for me because I had no idea what the point of it was, or like where you put it. And then he figured it out. So it's actually kind of cool. We're gonna pull out all these figures here just to give us some space. So in the very bottom of the floor, there is this tiny little star, and that matches the star that's on here. So the idea is you have to get it just right. So this would be extremely infuriating for a child to do, because it's not even easy for an adult to do this. But once you get it lined up just right, it will sit there, and it's like, it feels almost like it's glued there. And it's literally just a place for a figure to sit. It's just another little thing that clips into something. That's all it does. There's no other special function to it. But super cute, and it's just another interesting little detail that you don't really see in a lot of these sets. Otherwise, I really just have to applaud the use of paint in this set, because of course they did use some stickers, and I guess these wouldn't qualify as fish pond stickers, so we'll cut them some slack for that. But just beautiful use of paint, because these aren't stickers. These are just different uses of different colored plastics and paint, and it really made for such a wonderful color palette. This is just everything mermaid colored, and it's just perfect the way it is. So kudos to the product designers on this one. So let's turn off the lights and let's talk about what this looks like with the lights off. So I am now just going to go ahead and open it up, and it has an auto switch on it. A lot of the light up sets are like this, that are compact styled. So like the Fairy Light Wonderland, Starlight Castle, etc. So it works the same, that when you open it up, it just magically lights up. And then when you close it, the light just magically goes off. So you can see where that happens. So if I open this up, just look how beautiful this is, all lit up. So down here, there is that beautiful, again, I'm gonna say anemones, but maybe they're urchins. I don't know, correct me. I don't know anything about the ocean. I think the ocean's terrifying, and it's too deep, and I don't ever want to be in it. And then down below, this is just so beautiful. So here is the top of the ship, and you can see these grates on top of the shipwreck. They go down inside, and then the lights are also inside the ship. Can you see how beautiful? There's like these, it's so hard to capture this on camera, but there's these beautiful green lights at the back here behind the anchor that just ever so subtly shine through. And then of course, you can't really see it very well from the side, but you see how the lights are coming through this way too. They light up the playset a bit so that you can see the playset, but also just those, I want to call them wave crests, maybe they're seaweed, I don't know. Those light up so beautifully as well. Now, of course, you don't have to play with this with the lights off, just the way that the lighting is with the camera. You can only really see it when I have the lights off, but this set does just shine so beautifully with the lights on as well, so you can really get that full effect of it. But I just wanted to give you an idea of how well and beautifully this set lights up. All right, we've got our lights back. So I would just love to know, as always, what's your favorite part of this set? There's so much going on here that I'm actually overwhelmed. Gosh, what would be my favorite part? You know, I think mine is probably, aside from the lights are beautiful, but mine would probably be this. I think that's just kind of a neat rolling animation that they got in there. It's so fluid. But the shipwreck is beautiful too, and I don't like the idea of shipwrecks, like in general. Not just from the idea of a ship going down, but just, they just seem so haunted. I am just not into shipwrecks, but so much good stuff going on in here. So much movement, so much color. Just let me know in the comments, what's your favorite thing about this playset? Okay, so as always, you know, I would just love to hear what's your favorite part of this set. Now, I did not forget. I wanted to show you the different sizes of the polys in the set. So the polys are exceptionally small, if you can see that there. For reference, I am going to hold up a regular one, and let's see if I can show this to you with the camera staying in focus there. So they are quite a bit smaller, and if I hold up Pearl in comparison to that poly, Pearl is even smaller. Look at that. She is tiny. So the figures are just a lot smaller than the regular sets, and that's consistent across the Enchanted Storybook series. They just made all the figures extra small just to be extra cute, I guess. So would love to hear your thoughts on the set. I just think they hit this one out of the park. It's so cute. The lights, the details, the colors, the figures, like it's so good. I wish I had that as a kid, but probably at that time it was kind of like, by the time that hit the market, I was probably kind of getting out of Polly Pockets, and I don't know, it's probably super expensive if we're being honest too. By the time that came out, I also probably had more than enough, and my parents were probably good with the amount that I had, because I had like over 30. So anyway, again, just love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please hit the subscribe button. It helps out the channel so much, and you don't have to pay for it. It is free. Just hit subscribe. Also, please like the video. That also helps out a ton. And if you're on Instagram, come follow me along on Instagram as well at Pocket Vintage Toys. That's the best place to connect with me, but that's where I'll share anything new coming into my collection, of which there is more. This was one of the pieces, but I do have more in the mail. So that's a good place where I post all of that stuff. If you want sort of a sneak peek, come follow along on Instagram. Pocket Vintage Toys is my handle. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.